Straight ahead, the storm is over, but the water remains on some roadways in Kern County. We'll have an update on the latest closures.
Plus, where you can take shelter if you are in need after evacuation and shelter-in-place orders were issued on Sunday in the Sand Canyon community area.
And we'll let you know where the storm dumped all that rain and how it's impacting other California communities.
Live from Kern County's streaming news leader, this is 23 ABC News at 6, and it starts now.
Good Monday morning. Thanks for tuning in to 23 ABC News at 6 a.m. I'm Brian Gallo.
And I'm Mike Hart, and let's jump right into it. We got a full morning for you, breaking down everything, starting with Hilary. She's gone. You kicked her out of the county.
She had to go.
Yeah.
Well, she has like 1 foot in the door still, folks, but looks like we are in the clear. Checking a beautiful shot from our rooftop cam. You can see a cloud deck far out in this shot here. And partly cloudy conditions. Let's look at this. Storm winding down. Still a shot of rain will be with us throughout the rest of today into the evening. And pop-up showers and flooding is still possible. So keep that in mind. We're going to see some sun today as well. So that is some good news with partly cloudy conditions. Also elevated dew points. We're seeing dew points in the 70s, which equals a sticky situation. But you can see here, chance of wind. It's on the lower side. Really no chance of snow, but rain chance still with us. Futurecast, I have several different satellite and radar shots to share with you, and all of that moisture, you can see the bulk of it is now well north of us, which is again some good news. I'm going to try to find all the silver lining in this forecast this morning, folks, because areas south of us really got it, especially Coachella Valley. You can see this as far as Futurecast is concerned. By tomorrow we are free and clear of any shot of rain. Yeah, lots to cover. We do have a beautiful week ahead though, which is really nice as far as numbers staying below average. I'll give you some storm totals most likely tomorrow when this is all wrapped up, but I can tell you this much. The amount of rain that we were anticipating to see, we did not, which again is good news. 70 currently for us here in Palm Springs, 59 for Wofford Heights, and here are your forecasted highs. Temperatures 10 degrees below average. Hang out at home this morning, even this afternoon if you can, while a lot of this flooding dissipates. Let's go ahead and check in with Mr. Tomas Martinez and see how the commute is this Monday morning. Good morning, Tomas.
Good morning, Brian. Happy Monday morning to everybody. Well, we do have a couple closures in effect due to the roadways being flooded. The first main one, of course, is on eastbound Highway 58 at Tower Line Road due to the flooding over on Cameron Canyon Road just east of Tehachapi. We did receive word just recently that anybody that lives in Tehachapi and is traveling eastbound on Highway 58, once you approach the closure and you contact the Caltrans employees, you can show them identification if you are a resident from Tehachapi and live in Tehachapi. They will allow you through, but just if they do allow you through, just as always, please just drive with some caution and watch your speed. Just try to get there safely. Additional closure over on Highway 14. This one will be from California City Boulevard to Highway 178 due to flooding as well. And we are still getting reports of rocks in the canyons. So as of right now, the canyon is open, but just there is that possibility that we will have to close the canyon if there's too many rocks in the roadway, and it is for the safety of all our motorists that are traveling through there. So just be mindful of that we may be closing the canyon if we continue to get these reports for rocks, and especially if they're blocking lanes through there. For anybody traveling through the Grapevine this morning, there are reports of a couple lanes being flooded. The first one's going to be on this right slow lane over near Grapevine Road. Anybody going southbound I-5, as well as when you approach Gorman, the left 2 lanes are flooded as well through the area. So just drive with some caution if you're headed through there. So just make sure to watch your speed this morning. Make sure try not to travel through any flooded roadways, as we will encounter more motorists calling in flooded roadways now that everyone's starting their morning commute to work. But just be safe out there, and that's my look at traffic. I'll send it back to you in the studio.
Tomas, thank you. Some lingering impacts from Hilary. The storm has dissipated, but it did leave behind some flooding problems, as you just heard. In eastern Kern, check it out. Many viewers Sunday sharing videos with us on social media. This one posted by officials with California State Parks near Randsburg Road and the 14 and 395 in the Mojave area. If you've been through this, you know this roadway in Red Rock State Park. Authorities still reminding you, if you come across a flooded roadway, as always, turn around, don't drown.
Meanwhile, a flood watch continues for many parts of Kern County until 11 p.m. tonight. A flash flood warning was in effect most of Sunday night, and in Bakersfield, several hours of steady rainfall led to flooding on streets, sidewalks, and other low-lying areas within the city.
Taking a live look right now, Interstate 5 in the Lebec area as traffic is moving through that area, albeit as well, there goes somebody flying down the freeway right there. But as Tomas Martinez was saying, still kind of take it slow. Be aware there could be lingering water on the roadway. We'll have more on those conditions coming up in just a moment.
And now with an update on the current road closures, let's check in at the Live Center with 23 ABC's Ava Kirshner. Good morning, Ava.
Good morning. Little typo there. Actually, school closures is what I'm dealing with now. This is the site that we will usually see all those school closures, but for some reason it is not updating them this morning. So we've had to individually search each district on social media to see what they've been posting, and here's what we've found so far. So we have some posts from Tehachapi Unified School District, from Mojave Unified School District, from Sierra Sands Unified School District, just letting us know that they will be closed for today. So let's go into it. Albany Park School in Delano Unified Elementary School District. They just have a late start. They do not have a closure. Cerro Coso Community College has in-person classes canceled. However, those online classes are not canceled. Sierra Sands Unified School District has a closure. Tehachapi Unified School District, Mojave Unified School District, Muroc Joint Unified School District, Southern Kern Unified School District, all posted on social media saying that those schools will be closed Monday. However, they are expected to reopen Tuesday, but it all depends on those weather conditions. I'll have more for you later in the hour. I'll send it back to you.
Ava, very good. And flooding been a big part of the problems in Kern County in specific areas due to Hilary. Let's go live right now. 23 ABC's Sam Hoyle standing by on Highway 58 looking eastbound this morning with more on that closure. Sam.
Good morning, everybody. Now, we are about halfway between Bakersfield and Tehachapi on Highway 58. Just wanted to give you guys an idea of how gorgeous this view truly is. Now, if we come a little bit further over here and we look down Highway 58, as you can see, it is darn near completely empty. There are a few cars making their way through. That is only necessary state employees and emergency and first responders to help out in the area. Now, at this moment, we're just going to leave here. We're going to leave you guys here on the road just so you kind of get an idea as to what things are like. Completely empty. It is unclear how long Highway 58 will be closed down as a result of this storm. It is unclear what damage is being done at this moment. However, we will have more updates for you on air and online as well. We'll send it back to the studio.
All right, Sam, thank you. County Fire issuing an evacuation and shelter-in-place order Sunday for areas in the Sand Canyon community, which remain in effect this morning. Those areas include north of Bakersfield, Tehachapi Highway, south of Sand Canyon Road, Deer Trail, east of Sand Canyon Road, and west of Sweetwater. If you live in that area, you know where these are. A shelter-in-place order is in effect for communities and neighborhoods that are north of the 58 and east of Sand Canyon Road. The American Red Cross is assisting with these orders. Now, rushing water on Sunday flooded the roads in Tehachapi, closing down parts of Sand Canyon, Copus Road, and Tehachapi Boulevard. The storm brought more than 5 inches of rain to Tehachapi on Sunday alone. Rain chances expected to last through the week for the Kern Mountains, and as a result, the Red Cross has opened the shelter at the Tehachapi Education Center for residents who are displaced. Jim Hankinson, a volunteer with the Red Cross, says they're prepared to receive all kinds of clients.
And so far, we've not had any clients, but we're ready for them. So it's my understanding that 30 to 50 homes were given an evacuation order due to flooding.
Hankinson says those who seek shelter will get 3 meals a day, a cot and a blanket, and they'll also care for your small animals. For more information on the shelter and to keep updated with the latest weather conditions, you can visit us online at turnto23.com. And Kern County Fire issuing voluntary evacuation orders for certain areas of Ridgecrest Sunday. Those areas included south of West Las Flores Avenue, north of West Ridgecrest Boulevard, east of North Alvord Street, and west of North China Lake Boulevard. Officials say low-level flooding was expected in those areas.
Please take a moment and check on your neighbors. Check on those elderly people that you know, your family members, your loved ones. Take 2 minutes just to make sure they're okay. This storm is not something that we're used to because we've had a lot of rain in a short period of time, and we're going to have even more over the next 12 hours. Please don't take this as a joke. It's not a time to be playful. It's not a time to be not respectful of Mother Nature.
That was Mayor Bruin right there sharing that many intersections were impacted. The city opened the Kerr-McGee Center as a shelter for anyone who's been displaced. The Salvation Army will also be on site to help out.
Well, turning to the latest on the impacts of Tropical Storm Hilary on areas surrounding Kern County.
Yeah, that system has prompted hundreds of flight cancellations across the state, school closures today here, LA, San Diego. ABC's Justin Finch tracks where she is now.
This morning, high alert from Southern California to Nevada as Hilary churns north, packing gusting winds and heavy rains. More than 42 million Americans facing tropical storm warnings. California's governor declaring a state of emergency as the mayor of Los Angeles warns of an unprecedented weather event.
Stay safe, stay informed, and stay home. The worst of the rains is potentially left to come.
In Southern California, rain-saturated streets are making for treacherous driving conditions, leading to crashes. In Thousand Palms, California, streets unpassable.
We are flooded.
Multiple flash flood warnings in effect. Ahead of the storm, a rush to stock up on supplies and fill sandbags.
Hoping for the best, but preparing for the worst.
Amid the hammering storm, these swaying lights signaling a 5.1 magnitude earthquake in Los Angeles.
Our studio is shaking right now, so not only are we dealing with a tropical storm, but it appears we're now dealing with an earthquake.
This is the first time we've had a magnitude 5 since 1932. In exactly this location.
Crews have stacked large sand berms along the shorelines to shield against powerful waves.
This is what we look for.
Kiteboarders at San Diego's Pacific Beach taking advantage of Hilary's high winds as it moved north after making landfall in Baja California, Mexico, and leaving severe flooding behind. So far, no reports of damage or injuries from that earthquake, which experts say is unrelated to the storm. President Biden says he's deployed federal resources to assist California and Nevada as needed, as forecasters warn of residual storm impacts, including mudslides and tornadoes. Justin Finch, ABC News, Washington.
Thank you, Justin. Coming up on 23 ABC News at 6 a.m., we'll preview President Biden's visit to the area and learn why President Biden visits natural disasters. That and more after the break.
6:15, taking a look at our top headlines. Former President Trump skipping this week's GOP presidential debate. On his social media website, said he doesn't need to because he's doing well in the polls. The debate is set to take place Wednesday in Wisconsin. According to reports, the president will have a TV interview air during that same time slot. Meantime, the Biden administration wants Americans to get updated protection against COVID as hospitalizations are starting to rise. A White House officials say they'll be urging people to get new boosters along with flu shots and RSV shots. The CDC reporting a recent rise in infections. Updated shots are expected to roll out in the coming weeks. And a somber update this morning about former President Jimmy Carter and his wife Rosalind. Their grandson says it's clear the couple are in the final chapter of their lives. The former president began getting hospice care in February after years of health problems. His wife Rosalind was diagnosed with dementia back in May. Turning our attention back to Tropical Storm Hilary that has made a big impact down in the Palm Springs area, shutting down the east-west artery between Palm Springs and Blythe. Let's bring in Scripps meteorologist Scott Withers standing by live on Interstate 10 in the area with what has happened down there. Scott.
Yeah, Mike, take a look behind me here. This is the Interstate 10. It is heading westbound. It has not moved in at least 3 hours, likely longer. There's actually an ambulance stuck back in there with a patient inside. They say the patient's okay, but it is not moving at all. I'll show you why. This is all because of Hilary coming through. Look, this is the eastbound lanes. If I didn't tell you that, you'd think that was a river. It is rushing down here. We got some semis trapped in it as well. Underneath that water, thick layer of mud, and all the way down, You can see it kind of goes off, but then the water and mud come back on. This is a mess out here, and it's all because Palm Springs got almost a year's worth of rain in just one day. Now, this is the interstate. The good news is the downtown areas, those streets did get some water, came up a little bit, but they've receded, so no major flooding in downtown Palm Springs. But even just getting around most of Southern California is going to be difficult here, Mike. And do not, if you are heading this way, don't take the I-10. Find a different way, Mike.
All right, there you go. Scott Withers reporting from Palm Springs. It is a mess in many areas.
As advertised, everyone. Coachella Valley was positioned to see the bulk of the system, and it did. All right, as mentioned, the President and First Lady are traveling to Maui today to visit the region that's been ravaged by wildfires.
Scripps News congressional correspondent Stephanie Liebergen explains why it's important for presidents to take the time to visit places like this following a tragedy.
From wildfires and hurricanes to mass shootings and terrorist attacks, Americans have come to expect a presidential visit when disaster strikes. And a look back through history shows it's a tradition that's been building for decades.
The President and the First Lady will be traveling to Hawaii on Monday.
The purpose of a presidential visit is typically two-sided. Victims of a disaster are looking for comfort and empathy, but they also want to know what the government is doing to help.
Whether it's, a flood or an earthquake or these terrible fires that happened in Hawaii, it always involves the government. It always involves federal aid because very often the states can't handle it themselves.
The timing of a visit can make a big difference.
You can't wait too long. It looks like you don't care. You're not paying attention. But if you get in there right away, you're going to disrupt things.
President speaking at the site of tragedy goes all the way back to President Abraham Lincoln's Gettysburg Address. But as society and technology changed, so did the expectations. Communication became easier, travel became faster, and television put these moments on screen.
I think Lyndon Johnson is one of the first presidents to go to a disaster area after a hurricane, so that we now expect our presidents to do that.
Presidential visits can be turning points in an administration. Take President Bill Clinton after the Oklahoma City bombing, or President George W. Bush at Ground Zero. Disaster gives political leaders a chance to put partisanship aside.
When Superstorm Sandy ravages the East Coast, particularly the New Jersey area, what was really good for Obama and for Chris Christie, the Republican governor of New Jersey, was that the two came together.
But a misstep can haunt a presidency long after the administration is over.
Probably better not to go at all than to make a halfway measure, which is what George W. Bush did in flying over in Air Force One, flying over the ravages of Katrina. And that haunted him for the rest of his presidency.
The impact of a presidential visit extends internationally as well. It can be good for a U.S. president or even former president to visit another country when tragedy strikes there in order to demonstrate U.S. leadership among the free world. Stephanie Liebergen, Scripps News, Washington.
All right, to the numbers we go. Let's get these knocked out. Good news regarding our temperatures, 70 degrees currently. This actually is the seasonal average we should be seeing for this time of year. Good morning, Wofford Heights. You're checking 59, 61 in Kernville. And for the folks out at Edwards Air Force Base, they're checking 63 degrees. Yeah, Mike just whistled with a wow because this is a nice number. I mean, this is temperatures 10 plus degrees below seasonal average, at least for us here in Bakersfield. 80 for China Lake, 60s for mountain areas. All right, well, this is... You already know about this. Your phones were beeping and buzzing yesterday with flash flood warnings and earthquake alerts. Here you have it. So as far as Ojai is concerned, this is what we saw. Over 23 earthquakes yesterday, the strongest being a 5.1, and then the rest of those really considered aftershocks. All right, that out of the way. Now let's check on some moisture, folks. So we're looking at a future cast as we move through the morning today, and you can see LA areas east getting that break. That's very much needed. Light green indicates a chance of rain, and if it does, we're talking light rain, pop-up showers. You see something like this, it has a little more color in it, that equals intensity. So with that said, as far as Hilary is concerned, almost a wrap for us here, at least in Kern County. 40% chance of rain as far as pop-up showers are concerned. But again, we're looking for greens, right? That indicates a shot of rain. The brown, this is water vapor. We're talking moisture off of the coast. We're talking about the Pacific. So clear conditions once we move through really tomorrow and into the rest of the week. You can see Tuesday, things clear up quickly, and all that moisture continues to stay well east of us. So keep this in mind. As I mentioned earlier, Tomas will do the same thing. If you can't hang out at home today, just do that. Looking at storm totals as far as the next couple of days, really today, and trace amounts for most of us. Looks like Kernville could pick up about 1/10 of an inch. And this is on the higher side. These are predictions as far as what could come. There's a strong chance we could see really minimal amounts of rain, close to really trace amounts, if anything, here on the valley floor. All right, aerial flood watch, as well as a wind advisory to areas east of us. Wind not going to be an issue for us. We rarely see a southern flow, but obviously that's where the system has been coming from. Yes, so as you can see, 12-mile-per-hour gusts will be with us 7-day for you. Numbers staying below average. So with that said, just keep that in mind and stay safe on roads. Speaking of roads, let's check in with Tomas Martinez and see how they're looking. Good morning.
Good morning, Brian. Good morning, everybody. Looks like we have a crash being reported over in Oildale. This will be on California Street and Wilson Avenue. Looks like a vehicle may have struck a large green box that was in lanes. So for those of you that are headed on your morning commute, please just be on the lookout for flooded roadways and debris in lanes. Please do not try to drive through those flooded roadways. It's best to just turn around and find an alternate route so you don't get stuck or suffer any or go through any issues as you're trying to traverse through those flooded roadways. We still do have eastbound Highway 50 at Tower Line Road that is closed due to the flooding over in near Tehachapi on Cameron Canyon Road, Highway 58 Cameron Canyon Road. We are letting Caltrans is currently letting the Tehachapi residents through for anybody traveling eastbound Highway 58. Once you approach that closure, you can contact a Caltrans employee, show them your identification that has your address in Tehachapi, and they will let you through, but just proceed slowly and just look out for any debris or flooded roadways through the area as well. But it appears to be clear for anybody that's traveling up to Tehachapi. Additional closure on Highway 14 on California City, between California City Boulevard and Highway 178 due to the flooding as well. And we do have reports of canyons, rocks through the canyon, but the canyon still remains open. Possibility they may close it, but for the time being, it is open. Just be careful if you're driving through there this morning. For anybody traveling through the Grapevine, we do have reports of lanes flooded through the Grapevine, southbound I-5 near Grapevine Road, as well as southbound I-5 near Gorman. So just drive with some caution for anybody headed through there. So just be safe this morning. Make sure you're wearing a seatbelt. Please reduce your speed and increase your following distance around vehicles. That's my look at traffic. I'll send it back to you in the studio.
All right, Tomas, thank you. We'll be right back.
Welcome back, everyone. Nissan is recalling more than 236,000 vehicles over a steering issue. The recall impacts newer model Sentra compact cars. Nissan says tie rods in the front suspension can bend and break. The issue can cause drivers to lose steering control, increasing the risk of a crash. Impacted drivers will start receiving letters in the mail next month.
Still much more to come. In our final half hour, we'll get you updated on current road conditions as Hilary pushes to the north, leaving behind some flooding concerns. All that and more still to come.